Hey nerds, and welcome to CW's Flash Theories and Conspiracies. This week, this was the season finale. This is what it was all building to, and it was an amazing episode. They really paid off a lot to the fans. They gave so many Easter eggs of things to come, of things that might come, and they really did blow open the whole Flash, really the Flash Arrow universe with the possibility of what is to come. Now, before we really talk about what season 2 will hold for us, there's so many Easter eggs, so I'm just going to run through them really quick. First, when Barry is going through, we'll start with the Speed Force, because that's where we see just a ton of stuff. This is when Barry finally gets up to Mach 2 and hits the singularity, the black hole, and we see so much stuff. First, we see Caitlin. She is Killer Frost. Now, this is something we knew was going to happen. It was a possibility. I mean, when they went ahead and named her Caitlin Snow, it was kind of a given that eventually we'd be seeing her as Killer Frost. And we see her that way in the Speed Force, and we know that's going to come. We don't know why. It's got to have something to do with maybe Robbie dies somehow in something related to the Flash. There's another accident. Maybe there's another big explosion that causes a new increase in metahumans. And during that, it kills Robbie, and Caitlin, maybe she's blaming Flash for it, or maybe she's blaming the whole team. It's hard to say what is going to push her over the edge, because she is such a sweet person. But we will get to see her as Killer Frost, and we got a glimpse of that in the Speed Force. Next, we got to see the Flash Museum. Now, this is something way in the future when Flash is really a recognized and established hero. The city builds a museum to him in honor of everything he's done for them, all of his adventures, all the people he's fought and put behind bars, and everyone he's saved, and things like that. So we did get to see that. I mean, you saw there was a statue of Flash, and it was kind of almost Greek looking with the pillars, which, you know, fits, because he is kind of modeled after who was it, Hermes. But so we saw that. Next, Barry in handcuffs. This one is confusing to a lot of people, because it looks like he's in Iron Heights prison where his dad is. So there's a lot of confusion about what did Barry do that gets him in jail, or is he there undercover? Is he impersonating someone else? Is this an alternate timeline? Your guess is as good as mine on that one. It's probably not as bad as you think. I doubt Barry's going to go to jail unless somebody has framed him and he's in there doing the right thing, maybe sneaking out as Flash, and then comes back after he's trying to clear his name, little jaunts at a time. But we will see. That is going to be one that I think a lot of people are going to be very curious about. Now, other things. Before that happened, when they were trying to plan this all out, and Cisco was talking to Thawne, Eobard Thawne, not Eddie, he starts asking about the ring, but Thawne can tell something is bugging him. So he tells him about how he can remember Wells Thawne killing him, and what is a remarkable scene, I think. Thawne apologizes, but not for killing him. He's like, if I killed you, I had a good reason. Like, there's no remorse there, which is interesting, because you do often hear about Wells saying that he felt like Cisco was a son to him, but he apologizes that Cisco is now essentially a metahuman. And this is, if ever there was clear proof that we were going to be getting vibes soon, it's Wells saying that. But the things that happened at the end of the episode could change all of that. Going on, after Barry goes through the Speed Force, he's back in time. He gets waved off by future Barry, which is interesting, because what does that mean? We already know the timeline that we've been following is an alternate timeline. When Wells went back in time and couldn't get back to the future, he created a new timeline. So he's been living a new timeline that he's been trying to make as close to his timeline as possible. Obviously, just certain things sped up, like the emergence of metahumans and Barry becoming the Flash. But it's possible that older Barry knew what younger Barry was going to do, and so that's why he knew to wave him off. Or maybe older Barry already did try and save his mom and has already lived through the Flashpoint series. It'll be interesting to see what happens, and this is why this show is amazing but so confusing, is all this time travel stuff. It really throws stuff into into chaos. But while that is happening, back in the normal timeline, Wells Eobard Thawne is about to disembark when we see a helmet with the Flash wings come through the portal, the vortex, whatever we're going to call it. And this belongs to Jay Garrick. Jay Garrick was the Golden Age Flash. He didn't have the kind of cool streamlined costume, but it's almost like jeans and a long sleeve shirt with just the Flash on it. But Jay Garrick he's part of the kind of wider Flash family now. We've heard from the showrunners that there are going to be more speedsters in season 2. So that opens a huge window of who this could be, because there's a huge Flash family. I mean, Jay Garrick obviously is hinted at strongly. I mean, his helmet comes through the portal. But there's Wally West. There's Bart Allen. There's some other guy. I'm blanking on his name. But there's a ton of options. And they're all very connected to Barry Allen and his family tree. So it'll be interesting to see which speedsters they decide to bring back in. We also know we will be getting Reverse Flash again in season 2. So the question is how. And that takes me to kind of the big theory for what happened in the final moments. In order to save Iris and save everyone else, Eddie uses the grandfather paradox against Thawne and shoots himself. This causes Thawne to have never existed, and he vanishes. But the problem is, Eddie didn't really think through, based on what they knew, what would happen. Because Thawne is the one that created this timeline. If Thawne never existed, that timeline never existed. So by killing Eobard Thawne via the grandfather paradox, by shooting himself, he inadvertently destroyed the entire timeline. And I think that is what the giant vortex up in the sky is really all about. I think that is time erasing this timeline. So when Barry goes up in there to try and stop it, I think he's going to get sucked into the vortex, and we're going to get a new timeline. Now, this could be where things go bad for Robbie, and why Caitlin becomes Killer Frost. This could be any number of things could come out of this. This could be how we kind of get a more turnaround for Captain Cold and the League, the Legends of Tomorrow. They could come into play with this, because we know their show involves a lot of time travel. It's hard to say, but I really do think that's what's happening. I think this timeline is being erased, and a new one is going to come out of this in season 2. So the changes will be interesting. Now, because of Cisco's abilities, it'll be interesting to see if he remembers the previous timeline, because then Barry actually will have someone he can talk to about it. But I don't. It's so crazy. It was such a good episode. What do you guys think? Did you like this episode? I plan on doing a review of the whole season and kind of the main themes that I felt the show was doing. So make sure to check the blog for that. Love this. Can't wait until season 2. Tell me what you guys think. What do you think is going on with the big black hole vortex at the end of the show? And which speedster do you think they should bring in for season 2? So for season 1 of CW's Flash Theories and Conspiracies, my name's Brian, and this has been Good Nerd, Bad Nerd.